Joined at 17 as a medic in the army, and now I'm currently P0 and on the road to med discharge due to PTSD. P0 is temporary unfit for military service. Some people tend to go back into service and some people are unable to return to full service, so they get discharged. I was that typical workaholic of, no, I can't have time off work, I need to get stuff done, I'm the only individual in that job role to hold things together. When it got taken out of my hands and I was out of control of what was happening and made P0 unfit for military service temporary, my world fell apart. I didn't really know what I wanted. I got told I had to get a trade, not just go in as infantry, but also I don't think I really wanted to endure the journey that I was going because I was so apprehensive and people were telling me what to do, and I'm not used to that sort of direction in my childhood life. Eventually they gave me the direction once I stopped rebelling from the system itself, and I've done well in my career. I've got 2 senior ranks and just embraced it. During peacetime I predominantly worked in a medical regiment or a medical centre, dealing with patients face to face, and then my deployed role was remote medical cover. Tours of Afghanistan, was embedded in infantry patrols, battalions, and providing frontline medical treatment. Deployed role, it was the mainly trauma because it was hostile in places like Afghanistan. I also did support roles for Ebola outbreak in Sierra Leone and Kenya, where we provided life-saving but predominantly primary healthcare for people that couldn't access that sort of care in them regions and areas that we went to. The role wasn't difficult at the time, and that's the sheer fact that I probably do what every soldier does, or someone that's in that situation, of numb it, dampen it down and forget about it. It's only until you reflect on that situation that you realise it's actually impacted you a little bit. I'm just embracing the beginning, from removing that denial state to realising that actually I've got a few things that I need to rectify to change the way change the person I've become, essentially. It got to the point where it was severe. It was splitting my family up, it was affecting my child's education because I'd lost tolerance. I was having nightmares while I was sleeping, and everything around me was falling apart, especially when I got made P0 and told I was unfit to do my job. That's all I'd known. I was hopeless because I didn't see the actions until I'd done the actions of being short-tempered with my little girl. I got to the point where I couldn't even do basic tasks with my family, such as I went to my daughter's parents' evening and I ended up leaving that parents' evening and running off into my car and disappearing because it just got too much for me. And that was kind of like a turning point for me to reach out for help and medical treatment, because it's just not normal. I'm on the journey to try and figure out what is normal for me now, because I'll probably never go back to my original state, but we're working. If you start rebelling against it, then you're rebelling against a recovery process. So I am open to any idea and any suggestion, just to try and be back as close to where I was previously before I started. I've got a lot of unanswered questions, and being in the military you get told what to do and you got the answer of what needs to happen at the forefront. So taking that journey, not knowing what financial stability I'm going to have. I'm in a quarter currently on P0 still, so I'm going to be having to move out of that quarter and find my own house to live, which down south compared to up north, the house prices are drastically different. So it's the unknown that's the scary process. I have come to the VIA. They have walked the process with many veterans previous. I was not willing to come out of my house to see anyone. However, the recommendations, I came here and got the support and assistance, and actually quite a lot of answers to what I didn't know previously. Advised to come here by my father-in-law. However, the mindset that I'm in, I did my own research So I googled Veterans in Action. I went on the site and looked at all the previous videos on Facebook, etc. And actually it was a community that I'm missing, because I went inside my own house, then my own head, and I just stayed in bed for days and days and didn't even get out. I'd lost friends. I didn't reply to anyone, so I had no one to turn to. So it was kind of my only hope to drag myself out. So the first day turning up at the Veterans in Action Centre felt horrific. I had panic attacks, I was gagging, heart palpitations, and I sat in my car and I wasn't going to get out of my car. Luckily they was all sat on the bench outside the centre, and Billy approached and essentially said, "You're here now, let's go to the office and have a chat. You've done the biggest step." And that was like a welcoming relief of weight on my shoulders that I didn't get turned away, and it's not as scary. Someone's actually here to help me now. I'll be bluntly honest with you, I'd already planned my death. I'm on tablets that numb me to a level where I don't really show emotion, and my feelings are kind of sheltered. If I didn't come here, then my location and my plan probably would have been acted on. So what made me come back? I didn't come back at the start because it was overwhelming. I put it as a safety blanket, and then I got the urge to come back because I didn't know anyone and I didn't want to speak to anyone, and that's just the way I was at the time. But I took that step, started making relationships, and actually people that I call a close friend that I could turn to, that are in my vicinity, in my region now. And just that community of coming back. I mean, Billy took me around the centre and showed me all the fancy vehicles and stuff, but I'm a vehicle monk. I can only just change a tyre, and I didn't really find nothing that could engage me with. But I said to Billy when I come out, and I've been doing jigsaws. I've been just trying to switch off and tick over doing jigsaws. So Billy went, "No problem, we can facilitate it." And he's now got his own project it's called Step by Step, Piece by Piece, which is essentially what I'm doing on my recovery. I'm taking it step by step, and I'm just putting piece by piece to understand what I'm going through and how to move on with that. And it's a good project. I have never done a jigsaw in my life. However, I'm lonely at home. My wife works and my daughter is at school during the day. My therapy is actually being conducted through video link. So when you've had that therapy and relived experiences, there's nothing to turn to. So I started with jigsaws, and now I have moved the jigsaws here to the centre to ground me back to a normality, because I'm in fragile states once I've done certain reliving experiences through my therapy, and I come here to ground myself around people that I've connected with and understand what you're going through. If you wait for the motivation on PTSD, it'll never come. Never come. So you have to push yourself through that. And one of my therapy sessions is you got to take yourself back to the instant that's causing the nightmares, and you reprogram yourself and put the patch of looking at it from now. Did you die in that situation? Did you get tortured in that situation? Are you safe now? And they're the sort of questions that come through your therapy, to then reprogram your head to say, I am safe now, I didn't die. Was a bit scary, but it's not scary now. And that sort of stuff it uncovers dust that you've just numbed and put to one side for all these years. My wife was so paranoid that I was going to do something to myself and not come back. She then started texting constantly, ringing to ensure that she knew where I was. She would turn up at places just to make sure I was okay, and that was because she didn't want me to do anything silly, but it made me feel claustrophobic and made it worse, because all I seen was the negative aspect of, you're checking up on me, and it turned out she was just looking out for me. So look at the bigger picture and take them steps that are uncomfortable. My wife, I appreciate everything that she does for me now, and I realise the extent. Rebuilding just my relationship with my daughter. She was a daddy's girl, and because of the way I turned without even realising, kind of drifted away. So it's nice just to have them little moments with her. I'm slowly building up to be able to go to shopping malls, etc., where it can be a bit triggering. But we're working on it, and I'm in a better place. During treatment, I am unable to even start reducing the dose, and then they will slowly start weaning me off the medication, and I'll need 6 months of stability before I can come off it completely. I just haven't got that physical emotion. I can feel certain, it depends on the mood or the situation, but emotions are hard to express when you're numbed on so much medication. I'm scared because I know the medication is numbing me, and I'm actually quite happy that I'm on the medication because I'm slowly reclaiming my life back. I would not be here now if it wasn't for the encouragement of the charity itself and the medication assisting alongside. Yes, you're on meds and the charity can't work miracles. You have to engage and take that unknown plunge. It's scary, but it will save your life. For any other veterans that are suffering with PTSD, admit your faults. Do not stay in that denial phase. The point I'm at now, I'm able to recognise what actions I've taken were probably not the best action that I could have taken, and I'll rectify that for future. It's a negative journey, PTSD, and I'll forgive myself once I come to the charity and speak to like-minded people and they analyse it for me in a better sense. Otherwise I'll be in a negative pit replaying it over and over again. The future, it's uncertain. I could never work in a medical setting again, so the VIA are working alongside my discharge process. They also have programs with companies such as Boeing to help further employment and then assist with moving into civilian world if you're ready. And then finances, they've got their own accountant expert here that just funding that I never even knew that I would be entitled to for when I'm discharged. That actually has took so much pressure off me. Just to be able to move forward and fund a rental property for my family to move into. The last couple of months coming to VIA, it's answered questions that were unknown because they've experienced it and they've got the expertise that manage you through that process. I think I'm quite lucky that I've come to the charity going through the process rather than when it's too late and you're already discharged. Now, if I could just do anything to encourage someone to come, because actually it's changed my outlook and it's a positive outlook to move to a new chapter rather than a negative of how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that.